my quilty friends. Can you tell that I'm really excited about fall? Today I wanted to take you up into my sewing room or my sewing area and show you what I'm up to at the moment. So I've been working on my Irish chain quilt again, and it's actually been a while since I've worked on it, and I'm not kidding when I say I forgot actually what I was doing. And thank goodness I'd actually started writing my pattern here on my laptop, and I'd gotten down to the part where I worked out how many pieces I needed to sew together in the lights and the darks. So I referred to my own pattern when I was making my sample quilt. So I can confirm, yes, my patterns are very handy. Now I need to move all of this out of the way so I can quickly show you what I want to show you next. So I really wanted to show you the Creative Grids Stripology Extra Large Ruler. Now you know me, I'm not really into buying too many gadgets, but I have to admit I am converted. The ladies at Early Girl Quilt Company showed me it when I was in there visiting them for the New Jersey shop hop. So let me show you a little bit more about this Creative Grids Stripology Ruler. So first of all, it is extra large, and it says on here, pick up from both sides, do not bend. And they're serious. You've got to hold it from both sides, because what it is there's cut strips. These are all cut pieces of acrylic, so it's not real sturdy. So always hold it with two hands. What I'm going to do is pop some fabric underneath so we can cut it. I'll just slide it out of the way here. And we do have to fold the fabric, and if you've followed me for a while, you know I'm not actually really a big fan of folding fabric. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the manufacturer's fold on the line here. And then I'm going to fold this on another line, which then helps me know that it's square. Now if we fold it crooked, we get those elbows, so we don't want elbows. So there we go, I've got it like that. Then I'm going to take my ruler, place it on top, and make sure that it's fitting in between the lines here. And actually it's a bit big, so I'm going to make it a bit smaller, because we start here, we go up, and we finish there, and I just need a bit more clearance than that. So, popping it out of the way, keeping that line on a fold, bring it down to the next fold, again making sure that fold is on the line, and now I'm going to try popping it on top again, and that's perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut strips. That's why it's called a stripology ruler. So you can cut them at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, and so on. So the most common strips are 1.5, and what they've actually done here is they've got stars to show you where the 1.5 mark is, so you're not counting. You literally go from star to star, or the squares, which are for 2.5 inch cuts, which is really handy, because I do tend to do a lot of 2.5 inch cuts. Now, of course, you could do 5 inch cuts and you just count. You could do whatever you need to. There's also special instructions to cut on the diagonal. I'm not going to cover that today. And also, once you've cut your strips one way, you can cut them again, making squares or rectangles or whatever you need. So now let me show you how it works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place that fold on a line on my ruler, and what I need to do is make sure that it is before this opening here, because that's where we put our blade in. So this big solid line down here is perfect, so I can see the fold of my fabric is on that line. And then if we take a look up the top, we can just check that that's also sitting on a line, and that looks good to me. And then we're going to be starting at 0, so you want to make sure all your salvages and all your rough edges are past the 0 mark. So what we're actually doing here is we're cutting our first nice straight line. So I'll show you how it works. I'm just going to place a little bit of pressure on this edge here. Turn my cutter on. You do need a regular cutter. I'm going to place it in the little groove of the hole there. And all I'm going to do is run my cutter up. And now I've got my first line. So now if I wanted a 2.5 inch strip, I'd come over to the square, start in the opening, and run it up. Find the next square, run it up, find the next square, run it up, and you get the drift. Now what this means is we're actually getting perfect 2.5 inch strips. So if I just remove that one. How easy was that, guys? Oh, I didn't quite cut it properly there. Just trim that. So we've got perfect 2.5 inch strips here, and you could go on and on. Now, like I said, you could now turn these and cut them again, getting 2.5 inch squares or whatever you need. You've got your salvages there, so I would open them up to do that. But isn't that amazing? I have to say, like I said, I'm not really big on buying too many tools, but I think if you need something for your Christmas wish this year, a Stripology Ruler is something I would recommend you put at the top of your list. Hi guys, I'm at the Prallsville Mill. I've never been here before. It popped up on my Facebook page that there was a quilt show going on here, so I thought I'd pop in and take a look. Just looking at this quilt, and it inspired the idea of what if for our mystery block of the month next year we did 4 smaller, more simple blocks every month to create a quilt more like this. What do you think? Quilters Guild, they had a challenge. They had to use this fabric in their quilt, and then you can see all the different designs they came up with. No two are the same. So here you can see that the Guild did a challenge for women's suffrage, and everyone came up with their own ideas to interpret that, and they all look absolutely amazing. Did you know that New Zealand was the first country in the world to let women vote? The Courthouse Quilters quilt show. It was really neat to see all the beautiful quilts. I picked up some bargain fabric, and it was a really nice way to spend a few hours this afternoon. The way I found it was Facebook suggested it as an event, so maybe if you wanted to go to events in Facebook, you might find a local quilt show in your area. So I popped into Barnes & Noble and had a look in their magazine section, and I thought it would be fun to check out some of their quilting magazines, and I really liked the look of this one. I love Patchwork and Quilting, so I thought I'd buy a copy and open it up with you and take a look inside. Now it is a few months old. This is issue 110. I think there's been at least 3 or 4 issues since this one, and it cost me, it's written down here in very small writing, it's $14.99 US $5.99 in the UK, $14.99 in Canada. I think that says $16.95 in Australia and $16.90 in New Zealand. So that's about right as far as I know for prices for magazines. Let's take a look inside. If we have a look on the cover here though, first it says that it has half hexy templates, which are pretty cool. I'm not sure what quality they are, but we will soon find out. And then I quite liked the look of this quilt. And then if we turn it over to the back, we can see some of the other projects. It says here that if you subscribed to the magazine, you got this free sewing machine. Well, that's finished now, but I actually think it's only in England. This is an English magazine. I think somehow England does do really neat crafting magazines. I also really like Molly Makes. But if we have a look at some of the projects, I thought that they all looked really nice and modern and fun, which was quite nice. Well, what's the best way to open this up? It looks like we open it this way. I've had this sitting around for a while, but I wanted to record opening it with you, so I'm excited to finally be getting it done. Okay. And our little hexies. Put that aside and let's have a look at the hexies, because we all love free gifts, don't we? Well, they actually look like they're really nice quality, just like normal acrylic ones. You know, sometimes you get a free gift and it's not quite the normal quality that you would buy them at, but that's really nice, a really nice good quality thick acrylic half hexagon. Now I'm going to be honest, I've never used a half hexagon template, but I imagine that there's a pattern in here that you'd use it for. So let's take a look inside. So this is the contents of the magazine, and you can see we've got really nice images of all the different projects. There's 12 projects in total, and they're really cute. And again, we can see that subscribe today to get that free sewing machine, but that's finished, and I'm pretty sure that's only for people living in England. So let's take a look inside. So that's our first project here, and this is where you'd use those half hexy templates. So that's pretty cool. It's to make a pillow, and I don't know if you realize, but pillows only come in one size in New Zealand and Australia. I'm not sure about England, but I know here in America there are 2 different sizes, which is new to me, and that's why I get a bit confused when people ask about my burrito method pillowcase. What size it is, because to me it's just regular size, and I think you refer to that as a queen size. So this is an ad for a quilt pattern, I think. Oh, so that's the felt magazine. That's really cute. I used to make a lot of things in felt when my children were younger, not so much anymore. Just really neat things going on in the industry, some new fabric coming out. I recognize that pattern. Susie Quilt's new pattern. It looks like a new book. Some more fabric coming out here. I think that looks like another pattern you can purchase. And that's a quilt pattern that was on the cover. Let me check. Yes, that was on the cover. That's quite lovely, although those colours are definitely my colours. It is on the curve there though, so that would be something new for us. It's a lovely pattern, it's very detailed, and here we have the template. An advertisement for Liberty Fabrics. I love Liberty Fabrics. The next project, the patterns look quite nice and comprehensive. This is about spring cleaning, sorting out your scraps. Another quilt pattern. Another quilt pattern. It's not bad to get so many patterns in one magazine, especially when they're all quite cute like this. More templates that you need to photocopy and enlarge. An article on a designer. English paper piecing. We are going to do that soon, guys, I promise. More templates. A cute little dog bed. Oh. The patterns look really nice and easy to follow. Another quilt pattern. Gee, it's filled with things. And a cute little block here. Oh, I see. The block is to make the quilt. So it's yet another quilt pattern. It is absolutely chocker full of projects. I really like it. And there's some more ideas of what you could do with those half hexies with the template that you get. And I think the idea of that half hexie is that you sew with it. It's not done, rather sewn on a machine rather than done by paper piecing. And there we have it. So what did you think, guys? I think it would be a nice treat to subscribe and get this in the post. But there's so many to choose from. So if you are interested in finding a magazine and subscribing, maybe every now and then pop in and grab one and have a look through and then work out which one your favorite one is and then subscribe, because you do really get great deals if you subscribe to magazines. And one other thing I wanted to show you was these magic pins. Now these are new to me, but the word on the street is that they really are magic. I've heard a few people, like famous quilters, rave about them, so I thought I'd have a look. I ordered this pack. They're fine and they're 0.5 millimeters in thickness, and up here it also says they're 2¼ inches long. So these are the extra long pins. There's 100 in the pack. I actually ordered this pack first and they're fine again, 0.5 millimeters in thickness, but I wondered if they looked a bit short. So they're only 1¾ inch long, and I thought they might be a bit short, so I'm going to return those, and I think I'll keep these ones. So how about we open them up and take a look. So it's quite cute. There's one little sample one there that I don't accidentally throw that out if you buy a pack, and it comes in this cute little box, although if I love them I will put them on my magnetic pin caddy. And then if we open them up, what they are is they've got these comfort grips. Ooh, I don't know. I guess I'll have to do a few projects and see. So if I get my normal pins here and just compare them with the length of them. So if I measure from where the pin actually starts, not including the grippy bit, they're actually the same length as the ones I already used. So there you go. I'm glad I did get the extra long, because I do prefer my pins to be long. But we will see. I'll let you know how I go. Let me see if I can find a bit of scrap fabric. Okay. I always have little bits of scrap fabric in my top drawer just for when I'm sewing. Okay, yeah, I mean, the pins are pins really at the end of the day, aren't they? But they do feel nice and long, like I like them, and people are raving about them, about this comfort grip and how they're easier to grab. I don't know, maybe they're not used to the ones that I like, but let's see how we go. And there's 100 in a pack, and I was getting a bit low in my pins, because I don't know if you've noticed, but when I'm doing a tutorial, I'm like a bit OCD and I like to use the same style of pin. So on here I actually have two styles. I've got this style with the big flower head, which I recommend for people with children. So if you've got children, I think the bigger the end of the head, the better, because if they fall on the ground, they're easier to see. And then I've got these other ones that are clover, and you can see that the head is very little, but again, they're nice and long. But if I'm doing a tutorial, I'll always make sure I'm using the same pins, like the same set. I don't like to mix them up. So what I'll do now I've got a new set is I'll pop these aside and I'll put all these matching ones on, so I don't have to worry about that. There you go, that's a little bit of my OCD. So I'll let you know how the pins go. Just looking at them right now, yes, I think I do like them, and I do love the color pink. So there we go. So if you want to try them out, I will put a link in the description below, and let me know what you think of them too, and which pack you get. There's actually like, oh my gosh, I don't know how many, so many different kinds. So if you're looking for a pin for a certain type of project, like there was some for patchwork, quilting, there were regular pins, pretty much anything you could think of. But for me, I decided to go with the fine extra long. But anyway, let me know if you use them or if you buy them and use them, what you think. If you've got something you'd like me to talk about in my next video diary, please leave a comment and let me know. And please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next week.